gorsh, she's friggin' bright out today, eh? Yeah, but if I close my curtain, then I gotta maybe start the wood stove or something or other, Well, that sunlight coming in is bringing the heat. It's bringing the heat in. It's allowing the warmth in. I don't want to close, but it's ruining the quality of the picture of my video. But it's nice and warm. Oh, I can't. So glad it's warm. It's the brand new week. It's a work week. Yeah, not too much on the docket today. Got a bit of a system moving through on Wednesday. A weak system approaches the coast. It will put some precipitation into the southern interior especially. We'll be talking about that and coastal regions. So talk about that today. Little look at your work week weather. Here's what to expect in British Columbia this week. There it is. This is bad news. My God.
Falling out right now.
Anything could happen. Get on! Wow. I'll watch the video later. They dry mopping this. And if I haven't said so before, I'm Joey Only, the Caribou Weather Dude, here in Wells, British Columbia, 3,953 feet above sea level in my tiny little community of 200 here in the valley. It is the end of the road up here. If you want to live the mountain man life, this would be one of your best places in all Canada to achieve such a lifestyle. Yeah, it's great here. Bluebird Day in the mountains, nice and sunny, nice and wonderful. And I'm in a completely lovely mood. Things are wonderful in my life right now. So I guess that's a good time to come on here and talk to you about the weather, eh? Well, let's get right to her, pitter-patter, get at her, bud. Well, if you're new here, let me help you out. This here is the planet Earth. That's where all the people live. That's where all the people live. So fairly normal-looking setup off the coast here right now. The high pressure's sitting off the coast of California temporarily again, where it tends to like to live. You look at this little bit of stuff that's a bit of a mess in here. Well, what is that, Joey? What is this mess in here? We'll zoom right in. Colorado low is what that's called. And this is literally the storm that's going to make its way into areas like Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, eastern Texas. Tomorrow, really, we're looking at a severe weather outbreak, possibly a major tornado outbreak last year, and that's that California low. Blessed California, a little bit of precip, but now on the backside of it, it's probably a little bit windier than they'd like. Got the cold pulling on down here. Going to have some snow storms, maybe some blizzard conditions on the north side. Going to have a line of strong thunderstorms starting tonight, move through, and potentially be life-threatening situations. So that's one of the big stories. That is the biggest story this week in North America, really. There's no story more interesting than that one. Because if you can't tell from the map here, more or less, there's not much happening in all of Canada right now. A little bit of snowfall in Alberta. Maybe some weather approaching Ontario. Maybe some special weather statements going up there. Okay, well, let's have a look. Currently in BC, we just got these special weather statements that are really just about the air quality. The high pressure's keeping all the air particulates down. That also goes down more or less for the Crow's Nest Pass area as well, where we got this little bit of snowfall expected here in this warning, 10 centimeters by this afternoon into the foothills areas. Other than that, Western Canada, pretty quiet. Northern Ontario now seeing a winter storm watch, right? This is from the same system, more or less, that we've been just talking about down in the States. This will be the effects of it as it comes north. Going to be a good one. Could see 20 to 30 centimeters, 2 to 4 centimeters per hour. Poor visibility, heavy snow, local blowing snow. We'll see rain on the south side of that, more likely than not. That'll begin Tuesday evening, should diminish by Thursday. Confidence is increasing that the winter storm will affect portions of northeastern Ontario. The track of the low pressure system responsible still somewhat uncertain, which will affect snowfall amounts. Could be that 50 kilometers makes a big difference sometimes in reality, right? Northerly winds gusting 50 will result in areas of blowing snow. And we just have a little look on the Quebec side where that is a special weather statement. But that's talking more rain, 15 to 25 millimeters of rain. And with that comes the risk that some of it will be freezing. I had to close the curtain. It was becoming too bright, too ridiculous, letting all that warmth in. Man, a lot of warmth out there, though. We had quite a bit of rain Saturday into Sunday here in Wells. Just a little bit of precip, nothing crazy, but it kind of socked in for a little while and just rained. And I know now we're officially into March, so I'm not allowed to say it's raining still in winter. We are meteorological spring now, most officially, correct. But still, seeing rain last week, seeing how much rain we've been seeing as we're still not fully out of astronomical winter. The amount of rain we've been seeing is somewhat jarring. I think it's become more and more of a thing the last few years where, I can think back to 6 or 7 or 8 years ago or whatever, when we first started seeing regular rainfalls here in the mountains in the winter, and the old timers who've been here for 60, 70 years and whatnot saying, raining in January, raining in February, this doesn't happen here. It's never happened here. We get snow falling in April still in the mountains here regularly, like up to 75 centimeters on average. We get a lot of snow here. So having any amount of rainfall is still kind of weird at this time. And you look at these temperatures that are out there. Nanaimo got up to 14.5. Now, these only edge out their old records by 0.1 degrees. So we're not talking major breakthroughs here. But we're seeing a little creep up on those new daily record temperatures, right? So they've been keeping records in Pemberton since 1908. And now they've eclipsed their old record by, 0.2 degrees, and one large jump actually in Sparwood, where 1969 is where they've been keeping, since they've been keeping. However, Sparwood seen a fairly more significant punching through of their record, 12.7 over 11.3. They've been keeping records since 69 there. And Sparwood, not Sparwood itself, Elkford up the road is one of the only towns that's actually higher than Wells, BC in all of Canada. So we are at the top up here. However, even if Elkford's a little higher than us, what they have to remember is that we are way further north. So our experience of winter is much different. We certainly weren't seeing 12.7 in this area yesterday. What were we seeing? We could go have a look at the Diggy's Diner battle board here for a second. Warm temperatures in Newfoundland as well. Seeing 8.7s, 9s in Gander. So not too crazy, but a little bit of a punch through. Here I am at my personal weather station, Caribou Weather Dude YouTube weather station, brought to you by Diggy's Diner here in Wells, BC. Although they're not open on Mondays, so no getting Diggy's for me today. But we did have some pretty high pressure in that week between February 24th to March 2nd, getting up to 1,011.51 hectopascals. But then look at this, 992.55 for a low. So a little bit, and some strong wind gusts, despite the fact that my system still remains in the porch. I'm now looking to reinstall it back on the wall of the building where I can get precip and better wind calculations. Thursday, the warmest day and the windiest day, although it's pretty warm still on Friday as well. Pretty warm in general. We've been getting up over zero every day this last week, getting warm. So maybe we're not seeing the record-breaking temps that Sparwood has just seen, but we're not that far off up here. Good news is it's going to cool down, I think, next week. We got to get through this week, but I think we're going to have some cooler temperatures still next week. So we're not fully out of the winter weather yet. We're not fully out of the cold yet, but that's a ways away and things can change. But for now, at least, let's say that this week, here's what we're looking at in BC. So just looking at our 500 millibar heights, you can definitely see this mid-lat cyclone starting to form itself there, the Colorado low. This is going to be that disastrous weather maker they're talking about down there in the United States. Starting tonight, severe weather expected, potentially life-threatening situation if you have friends who live down in the Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana areas, Arkansas, things like that. Please make sure they're well aware to be checking all their favorite YouTubers who chase storms. Check all your weather forecasters. Check James Spann if you're in Alabama. Check what people are saying out there in the world, because that's really important. Life-saving information that you'll probably be finding yourself diving into there. Nonetheless, I'm a BC mountain man here. I'm not really necessarily able to give you the most complete, accurate forecast for Louisiana, as I've never been there, but you can see how that storm is moving through. You can get an idea of how that will that was quick moving through, but that gives you just a little bit of an idea of how I'll slow her right down. Ontario, Quebec, out to the Maritimes, they're all going to get a little piece of this storm here. Back into slow motion. Here we go. There's our mid-lat cyclone forming up. See if I can slow it down even more. Can I slow it down even more? Right to a crawl. Perfect. So that system moving through the Great Lakes. Jet stream quite south of us. So we got this nice bending here, creating a brand new system, which I think will probably do the exact same thing as this one. So we're looking at maybe a second severe weather outbreak in the United States, but that is not till sometime next week. Here in BC, though, mostly clear. A little bit of a visit from a small weak system on Wednesday should bring a little precipitation into the province. Let's have a gander in a second here at that and try to get our picture. I think we might see a stronger chance of storm later in the weekend, possibly. But I don't see this part of BC taking a lot of snow, especially if you get up to the Prince George region. There's some of that precip in the foothills today that's got that snowfall warning still going on, but that should diminish this afternoon. Clear day Tuesday. There's that week low, 1,000 millibars. Like, that's not very organized. It's really not. Now, does that mean that it will be possibly treacherous at times into the Coast Mountains if you're driving up the Duffy Highway or whatnot, going up the Sea to Sky Highway? You're trying to take those routes. Yeah, I mean, that's possible. It's possible that areas of Highway 3 get a little bit slushy, slippery, gross. So northern Vancouver Island going to take quite a bit of precip. So all in all, for how warm it's just been, like, I think we're still coming into a situation where we're going to have still fairly cool nights. We'll still be getting below zero from a lot of us at night who don't live at least in low areas or in the very far south. You know, I'm sure if you live in southern BC, that'll be a different story. But yeah, mostly clear week, you know, with temperatures ranging above zero and then just below at nighttime. Like I say, depending on how far north you live or how high up in the hills you live. So it's not really until the weekend that we're expecting a visit from another system. Here's that sort of look at that Sunday, what that's going to mean for us all in the interior. I mean, that's a couple forecasts away. Could be that we have a nice line of precipitation like through Burns Lake or whatever, through the Prince George area, through the North Caribou, into the Pine Pass, whatnot. But I mean, we're talking Sunday, Monday. That's a week away now. So it doesn't really do us much good to sort of guess at what that could mean. What could that mean? But I think one thing we can take a guess at is this: warm days, chilly nights, warm days, chilly nights. Wednesday, warm day, chilly night. Thursday, pretty warm day, chilly night. Not exceedingly warm, though. Not exceedingly warm, but in the direct sunlight, it'll be pretty warm. It certainly will in the direct sunlight. Saturday, warm during the day, even warmer. Even warmer during the day on Monday. But look at that. That's what I'm getting at. That cooler air next week visiting us could see some chillier temps in BC through next week yet. So that's something on the long range to look for. That okay, here's the problem. So no, we don't have a great deal of precip coming. Not really. Some, sure, but not a great deal of precip coming. And some cooler weather means it's going to act as a bit of a block, which means we have less chance of precip. So probably not seeing a whole lot during that cool down. You know, we're really not making up the snow we need. A lot of places are losing it. A lot of places don't have any snow left already. You know, is it going to be an early fire season? People are asking me. Well, you know, yeah, there's a very good chance of it. One last look. Having a really hard time getting through this video right now today, everybody. So what we're looking at is, you know, if this comes in Tuesday, over into Wednesday, spills over into Wednesday, we're looking at, you know, a mix of rain or snow. We could see areas like the west end of Lake Kamloops there at Savinaw. Could see some snow, could see some rain, for example. Could be a little bit of a spike there if we sort of just zoom in this one spot, for example. So sure, it says 18 millimeters. Or 17 centimeters. Well, what's it going to be? Well, you know, I'm sure if it's the height of the afternoon and snow is falling, it's not, well, I'm sure if it's the height of the afternoon, snow is not falling, is what I'm trying to say. It'll be falling as rain, right? If you live in these low areas, as opposed to the hilltops, you might have a different experience. So a little bit of that. We'll just have a quick peek here, but you can see small amounts of snow, trace snow. You could see 5 centimeters around Nelson, sort of like that. You could see some snow in the highlands, could see some snow in the mountains, but nothing too significant, and it could come with rain as well. Right, so you know these temperatures tend to be above zero right now, almost certainly, and just a little peek at where we are at. So here's this low off the coast. It's weak. This frontal system is this frontal boundary approaches on Tuesday morning. Going to have that classic setup of the heavy winds up the coast. So, I mean, if you're used to coastal weather, this will be one of those windy days on Tuesday. You get ready for that. For most of us, until evening, we're probably not going to see it in the interior. For a lot of us, it may be more a Wednesday thing. But I feel like this has been bumped up on ECMWF. There's a little bit sooner than I was looking at last night, a little bit sooner than GFS was looking at in that other model. So could be that ECMWF is more correct on this one. Sure, that's easy to believe. Often is the case. But, you know, looking at where the snow comes through, where the rain comes through, we are looking at more or less trace amounts, more or less most areas aren't going to see a great deal of snow. We're not going to see enough snow to make up for how little we have. So here we are now, Wednesday morning. Now it's set pretty good in the Columbia's now, Revelstoke area over the Golden. If the Rogers Pass is going to be a complete disaster. We do have snowfall expectations through the Caribou. Maybe some of these bands could be more organized. Maybe they'll exceed a little bit what we're seeing on here. But really, we're waking up Wednesday to probably a bit of a gross commute for a lot of you who have to travel over low areas. That low will be sitting there in the Caribou and Prince George by the time we get to Wednesday morning, and it will pass on through, try to establish itself on the Alberta side, as so often is the case. That's what they like to do. And just have a zoom out a little bit and see. Already one taking off out there towards Thompson, Manitoba. It doesn't take long, and you can see these areas of instability are working themselves out. So that's what we're seeing. Wednesday snowfall, sure. Tuesday starting for some of you, rain or snow. Yeah, that's really the only thing happening this week. Temperatures keep fluctuating, above and below zero just slightly. So we're not seeing in this area a great change in our snowpack day by day, despite being above zero, despite having a little bit of rain. We're still seeing more or less still the same amount of snow on the ground here, and that's good. But we need obviously a lot more than that. Okay, well, I think that's what I'm going to say for this afternoon. This morning, it took me a long time to get through this. I just kept making all kinds of technical errors, speaking for 10 minutes, but I didn't re-hit I was still paused, shit like that. Speaking and then having to refix and then saying the wrong thing and then, leading into my run through with what I had in mind from last night, except the modeling changed a little bit. So now, oh man, can I not just catch a break? Can I not just have a easy thing to say here? Weekend is probably our next chance for some precip, yeah. And watch what's going to happen here, though. Going to get this low come through, and in the backside of it, fairly strong low. Looking at a much more significant story this weekend. We'll come back at you with more weekend stories as we get closer to that. Looking at a weekend story, and on the backside of this could bring some of that cold air on down. Terrible time just getting through my show today. I'm incredibly sorry, everybody. I try really hard. Okay, hit like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Keep coming back. Keep supporting the channel. Thanks very much, everybody. Always new content. Going to keep putting stuff out the next few days because I'm scraping by. And one way I can guarantee at the end of this month I can still pay my child support is if I make enough videos and people watch them that the revenue rolls in. So that's got to do what I got to do here. Okay, thanks for the support, everybody. You're keeping me going, keeping me alive. Fire season, work season, just still a couple months away for me. I have no idea what my year is going to look like, what's going to happen. So as always, just trying to get by here in the mountains the best I can, but I would not trade this life in for anything. I could be more financially secure if I went and lived in the city, and I could also be fucking suffering and dead inside. So that's how it is for me, guys like me. Okay, that's the show today, everybody. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon. Bye.